Easy now. My crazy selector. Tear it over. Tear it up. Tear it up. Tear it up. Live and direct. Straight out of Orlando, Florida. Fire bun. Fire bun. Fire bun. Sound the big alarm. It's time and done. Running wild. Wild. Strictly for the pool and the posse. Y'all them roll out. Y'all them roll out. Y'all them roll out. Mad rude boy style. Chaos in full effect. Ride the rhythm rough. Tom and Dan mash it up. Original low town sound clash. Murderation. Boom shot. Be up Tom and Dan. Saying champion sound blazing from the swamps to the sun. All tight, all massive. We turn it up till morning light. Till morning light. Till morning light. Strictly roots, strictly real. No follow. Vibes are explode, lightning flash. Thunder roll. Wheel it up, selector. We run it again. Bless up every yardie, every foreign commandant. Family for life. Commandant. On the airwaves, Orlando mash-up session. All lovers, all put on the chasers. Come forward. Straight from the heart of Old Town. No apology. We are this, hear that, hear everything. It's Tom and Dan time. From the little yard to the big world, Tom and Dan rule the nation. Rule the nation. On the airwaves, Orlando mash-up session. All lovers, all pun on the chasers. Come forward, straight from the heart of Old Town. No apology. We are this, hear that, hear everything. It's Tom and Dan time. From the little yard to the big world, Tom and Dan rule the nation.
Hey. I like it when you're listening to something like this, if it were a live recording, and then you would hear the guy. Here, I'll do it for you guys. Ready? Yeah. Mr. Johnny Thompson on the saxophone. Yeah. That's Bill Duke on organ right there. Bill Duke on organ. See what I did there? All right. Hey, welcome back to the show. Today's topic, abortion and how it affects you. Tom?
Doesn't really affect me right now.
You did the ODB.
What?
I watched that clip yesterday. This is the warm-up. It was MTV. It was, maybe I can pull it up. Oh, no, I got to do it from the other computer. It's the greatest ODB clip of all time. You'll love it. It's a great warm-up. ODB on TRL nothing. Okay?
What did old Dirty Bastard die of?
Do you know the clip I'm talking? Oh, wait, was it? No, ODB on doing things in the community. You've never seen this clip?
Oh, yeah, on TRL.
I can't even find it, yeah. And they're like, I was like, there's like
he's like, what are you doing for the community?
Yeah, he's like, what? Me? And he's like, me? He's like, nothing.
Yeah.
It's awesome. It's so awesome. And then the place goes crazy. Like, they're like, that's what you should say, ODB, because we know you.
Of course. And it's a stupid question.
It was a stupid question. That person was asking that question to make them, like, that was the thing that people hate. What is that called? People do it on Facebook all the time. It's where you're outwardly projecting that you're a better person because you care about a cause that may not light up somebody else's life. What is it called?
Although, is it
Damn it.
them being naive or them attacking ODB because they know he's not doing any charity work?
She was attacking ODB.
To make him look like shit.
100% she was attacking him for his lack of IQ.
But also,
it backfired on her because,
like, no one from Wu-Tang is like, I mean, obviously they've done a lot of charity, but I'm saying, like, they're producing.
Number one
music.
is not charitable. Yeah, they're not. They're not a charity. They're rappers.
Yeah. You wouldn't ask.
What's up, y'all? We're just talking to Twitch and YouTube. What's going on? Runge is here. Oh, what's going on, everybody? We got our guest. Hold on, I'll set up camera. Oh, that's nice, buddy. You brought the strap. Oh, it's the real deal. I haven't got to see it. Oh my God. Oh shit. Right. I don't want to drop it. Gee, have you seen this? Yeah, oh yeah, you were there. Yeah. Oh wow, dude. Wow. Whoa, dude. This is awesome. How have you worn it naked?
Not yet.
You have to. You have to do it. I've always thought about that. Isn't that what Ric Flair does? Like,
I'm gonna Shawn Michaels photo shoot it with like just the belt on.
Okay, yeah. I'm pretty sure Ric Flair has talked about. Okay, Pat's camera is good. Let me fix up air. We have new cameras, so it's gonna take me a second to line you guys up here. What's that, buddy?
Are those HDMI cameras?
Are they what? No, what cameras?
Are they HDMI plugs?
They are USB-C, unfortunately. Do you need an HDMI camera?
I'm looking for a 4-camera setup like this, but I want HDMI because it's going into a switcher that has.
So you're trying to like actively. Okay, go ahead and talk into that. Did you have a mic talking?
Check on the mic.
Okay,
1 2
we got
1 2.
you. Eric, I got
Testing.
you. I gotta fix Eric's camera real quick, and then we'll be good to go.
Chuck E. Cheese. Chocolate con. Can you hear me? I don't hear me.
You will in just 1 second. Hold on. Now try.
Hello.
There you go. This is my fault. This is the Dan Cam fault. It's good to see you guys. Thanks for coming in today.
Good to be back. It's good to be seen.
I think we did it. At least for right now, that's going to have to work. All right, Mr. Van, would you like to begin?
Sure.
Here we go. And 3, 2.
Welcome back to A Corporate Time. The Hollerbach 3 are here. How you guys
What's up,
doing?
guys?
I think we called them something far more adult last time they were here. We will refrain from doing that. What's going on, guys? How you doing?
Yeah, Chef
good,
Pat,
guys.
Greg, and Eric are here. So, Chef Pat, we haven't talked to you since you celebrated your 20 years at Hollerbach. You brought in
True
your
story.
belt. So
Yeah, throw that up on the camera real big. So, oh, yeah, you got it around your... It's heavy. It's a real... That is a legitimate, real WWE belt. Like leather and what is it, brass or do you know?
I think that it's brass, and my favorite part is they actually got the tribal chef logo that Jason made, and then the little commemorative plate with in memory of not in memory and
yeah, don't say that. What are you doing?
What does it say? I can't read. Presented for dedicated years of service, and then the date that I started, and at age 20 for 20 years at Hollerbach.
That's killer, man. Congratulations.
do you ever think, like, in the future, it will be in memory of Chef Pat? I mean, I'm like, eventually, because
eventually it
chances
will
are
be. Eventually it will be.
the restaurant
One day,
will
one day.
outlive you. You know what I'm saying? You ever think about
I've been doing that a lot lately.
Statistically, though,
Yeah, true. I've been doing that a lot lately with my hip. I got a full hip replacement. I've been saying a transplant.
Yeah.
I've been saying I'm getting a hip transplant, which would lead you to believe that I have someone else's hip.
right.
Which is
Or
kinda-
or a pig's hip.
Oh, I already had a pig's hip. Joke's on you, doctor. I'm the pig.
Use pig stuff for humans.
Don't you? Can we stop?
Weird.
You know what? The first thing I'm going to do when I become president, no more pig stuff. We're not using that. We're outlawing that
Like,
stuff.
why is a pig's heart so close to humans?
You
can
know
use
why.
its valves.
You know
Because we
why.
just eat slop.
Yeah. You know why?
Weird.
Slam hogs.
Anyway, back to 20 years.
Yeah.
So, I thought of this, Chef Pat, that is it super rare for a chef to be at the same restaurant for 20 years?
I think so, yes. As far as I know, I don't know any of my chef friends that have cooked for more than 20 years because it kills you.
Yeah. I was
One
talk-
way or another.
You know, I was talking to my daughter about this last night because May likes to cook, and she's been bringing up, like, professions. Like, 2 days ago, she saw this lady that was doing the roof on our townhome, and the lady owns the roofing company, and then she's like, I want to own a roofing company. Well, that one got the nod from Mr. Tom because he was like, well, there's a lot of money in that, Maisie. Good job. Now she was talking about how she wants to be like a chef. Not as much money and I would imagine a lot more work, like chefing or cooking or at the highest level when you're running a kitchen that has to be consistent day in and day out.
That's
and
the key.
Hollerbach is that.
That's the thing.
Yeah.
Because anybody can, I didn't say anybody, lots of people run restaurants, but not well. Doing it the same way consistently at a high level, I would say that we do. I know both of these guys have their chops in the industry as well. So I think as far as things go, we do okay.
Yeah, I think you guys do a damn fine job because you're also not just a restaurant. It's one thing to pull off good cuisine, but you're a destination as well. So that makes it a little, I don't know, a little different. I think you have more of a microscope or more of a lens on you at that point.
Well,
Sure.
I think in the sign of the times when people are going to be kind of watching where they spend their money, and they're still going to go out because nobody likes to cook. So they're going to try to look for that quick and easy, cheap and easy, fast and quick type cheap, or they want an experience. And I think that's what you get when you go to Hollerbach. You're gonna spend a couple of bucks, get a great meal, but you're gonna get a huge experience.
With the way your voice is, and I like your voice, I almost thought you were gonna go, you're gonna like the way you look. You almost leaned into you're gonna like the way you look, and I almost came over and hugged you. Like I was like, oh my god, can you measure my inseam, please? I need a pair of dress pants.
Absolutely.
And Greg,
You're gonna like
those glasses look like you should be driving a mechanical spider from the future.
Excuse me, sir, where's your solar-powered balloon?
You look like in the future a solar-powered old Mad Max balloon.
Oh my God, the Dreamfinder's here. That's an Epcot reference.
Yeah, sorry, Greg.
Yeah, I think he had the same
glasses.
Yeah, sorry. Tom
you
hates
knew when you put them
Tom,
on, though.
You knew when you came in and Tom hates fun glasses. Every single one of you mother effers, and I mean that with love. You guys are family.
Hey,
But all three of you know that he hates wacky glasses. He hates it. And you know he does.
And I'm just the opposite. Like, if I have to wear them, and I haven't gone to an optometrist, I think it's about time that I do. But if I didn't have these, I wouldn't be able to read my phone, my book, or anything like that. But if I have to wear them, they're going to fucking stand out.
Yeah.
So when I
got him. It's fine.
Greg, we're on the radio. You're a digital man. You know that.
Fine.
I mean, we're on the radio in the future, so we can. Right now, we're on the internet. Yeah, fine.
I mean, those are the glasses of a man who curses on the radio.
But when I search them out, because I get them all on Amazon, it's almost like it's the same way that I search on my singles pages. I look for oversized female retro glasses.
You're gonna get an email about that.
Hold on, why are you searching for oversized female?
I like big, low confidence glasses.
It looks like there should be a 2 and a 7 on the other side of them, like a New Year's Eve.
Nothing about wearing these glasses says low confidence.
Okay, all right, we did a lot of damage there. Let's repair it by talking about legitimate things.
I mean, Greg, when he gets back to the office, he'd be like, we shouldn't advertise anymore. You do have some influence here. But I can't help. That's how bad the glasses are. I can't help myself.
Sorry.
Even if it could cost me money in the future, I have to mention them.
Take them off now.
Yeah, it's like me doxing people with like horrible stories that I know. I can't help myself. I have to yell the real name. Have to do it.
Back to 20 years, Pat. So I imagine at a restaurant it would be extra so when you go to Hollerbach.
I'll give you a crown real quick. You're my only chef friend, and I got tons that has been at a restaurant that long. Nobody even close. Not even close.
And I don't know if it's good or bad still at this point.
But I think it's different. I think Hollerbach is a different animal. And you're more of like a family member to the family than you really are, right? Is that right?
But they're
I mean,
yes and no.
But Chef
Sure.
Pat was at Linda's mom's.
I went to
birthday
Nanny Jean's birthday party
So,
at the
there you go.
ALF on the lake a couple months ago for her like 88th birthday or 89th birthday or something. So
Yeah.
But it also it will give you a sense of consistency, and there has to be consistency with you being in charge for so long. Where if someone gets a meal 15 years ago, they can expect a damn near similar meal. You know what I'm saying?
Pretty much.
And that's important to any restaurant and unique. Because
it's important in our business too. The number one thing in podcasting is consistency. And that's the number one thing that people fail when they even start it, is just being consistent.
Well, because if a new chef does come into a restaurant, things will change a little, right? Like the way he does things.
You would think.
Or do they stick to the restaurant's recipes?
That's why restaurants don't work a lot of times, especially I know German restaurants, so I will speak on German restaurants. And my perception is that you have somebody that gets maybe too old to cook anymore, right? They want, I'm going to hire another German chef, right? But that German chef, no, I know better than him, so I'm going to do mine a little bit better than you think, but that's not what he wants. So then they don't get along great. So then you got to find another German chef, and eventually it just is not there anymore, I think.
Are you familiar with Anna's?
Where's
the Polish place, the little Polish place?
Is that
here in town? Like, she was kind of like that. Very, very small restaurant. Like the tiniest little restaurant.
Heard of that.
Great little restaurant. But what was interesting about her, she came out to our table one time, we got to talking, and we've been going there for forever. And she said something very similar. She was like, I didn't bring another Polish person in here because they would have wanted to mix up all the, and I have my recipes the way that I want them.
For sure.
So she got a really good chef of all, and it was really funny because he came out, he was Haitian. And so you had him cooking top tier gołąbkis and like pierogies and the traditional Polish food, but she went with just a really good chef, not somebody from the area. That
very few and far between have I had German cooks or chefs in the kitchen. It usually doesn't work though that well.
I can see that. That's interesting.
We have a standard, we have a level, and that's ours. Just like, back to my potato salad thing. Your grandma's potato salad is different than my grandma's potato salad. This is Theo's grandma's potato salad.
Like, so that's his beer that he brings in. That's like from
this is just how we do it. And
from
you have
his
to be
area
okay with
of Germany, and so you're going to taste these flavors.
Correct.
Yeah, I like that.
Pat, let's talk about the videos you've been doing on social media, because this
gosh.
this is why you should follow
Which
Hollerbach.
Are we talking OF?
Well, no, Chef Pat goes to the market and then teaches you how to cook a traditional German meal. And so it's super valuable to people, too. It's like, because they can, if they, they a German relative, they want to go to the Hollerbach market, pick up.
Impress them a little bit.
German grocery. And
my mom's pastor is very excited about going and picking up a packet of that cream sauce for the salmon that we just did. So
yeah, the salmon did look good.
So what? I have a problem reading, right?
Wow, that's the first time he's ever admitted that, and I feel like we've made a huge step today.
It's not even a BDM show. Are we getting some therapy in here?
I feel like today was like the first step of maybe us being free.
So I cannot pronounce the names of any of these dishes at all. I can't even come close.
Sure. There's only one I've ever heard you say multiple times, and it's the ice vine. But that's only because it's all he eats, right? Is the shank of animal leg.
Well, even
Giant
then,
hunk of meat.
I like to say pork shank.
Let me get the pork shank.
So this meal is pronounced. I'm going to try it here.
Okay.
Karschen Churnyun.
The Kaiserschmarrn? The little
Kaiserschmarrn.
Was it the little pancake things? Maybe. We just
K-A-I-S-E-R.
Kaiserschmarrn.
Okay, Kaiserschmarrn.
Kaiserschmarn, yeah.
All right.
It's a German pap smear.
Kind of.
Is Kaiserschmarrn.
And what exactly is that?
It's like pancake bites. So you pretty much make pancake batter, dough, whatever, and then you put it in a pan. But then before it's all the way cooked, you cut it up into little pieces and scramble it. So then you just have bite-sized pieces of pancake.
This guy's been making pancakes since the old Drug of the Bear days. There's a reference for all you old monster listeners out there.
Could you make some air quotes German pancake bites? Just for me. This is Eric.
Let me talk to my editor.
Because there are Swedish ones that you turn with the little wooden stick in the proper pan, and those are called like Ebenskables or something. No, you have to say the weird name.
Because I don't even know what type. Because when I see this, I'm like, is this chicken? Is this fish? I don't even know what is the pancake bites. I'm so far away. I have no idea.
Kaiserschmarrn. Try it.
So, well, I know, yeah. But,
say Kaiser and then Schmarn.
But the way it's spelled, I look at it, I'm like, I have nothing. Nothing. So Daniel found an article about how to properly, and I don't even know if it's written by a chef.
I think it's a Wall Street Journal today. Yeah, there's a big article on the proper way to send back your food.
Ooh.
Right? We've never talked about that.
So I have never done this in my entire life.
That's why I picked this out.
I've never sent back anything. I will just eat it no matter what.
I've probably only done it, like, honestly, as much food, and as a professed foodie, I've probably only done it twice. Maybe once.
I've done it a couple of times. Once at a very nice restaurant.
Yeah.
And that's why, because I want what I paid for. And let me get what I paid for.
I mean, literally, if Tom orders something at a restaurant, at any point you can come out and let the pegging begin because he doesn't care. And he's like, whatever you gave him is what he gets, and he'll take it and he'll eat it. He'll slosh it down with water if he has to.
Now, I will say, if there's like glass in there or a Band-Aid, I'll say like, hey, there's a mistake here. But if it's just the way it's
you won't
cooked,
say what the mistake is. You'll say like, it's a Band-Aid. You'll say there's a mistake here.
See, depending on how long the hair is, I'll keep going through my meal.
Yeah. Hair.
But like,
matter.
if I order, say, a nice $42 piece of fish that's supposed to be grilled on your 900-degree oak-fired grill, and you send me out a piece of fish that's been sautéed, I know the difference. Don't try to tell me it's not. Take it back.
Yeah, because you know the difference.
Grilled fish sounds amazing.
Doesn't it?
Even if it's raw, I'm like, this is the way it's supposed to be. Like, I don't know.
I'll eat it and pay more.
Because I'm just trusting that the people, in the back room that's...
It's called a kitchen. They call that right? Let me confirm with Pat. Is that called a kitchen in the back room?
It depends. We got a back room, too, but you gotta be in the know for that one.
I call it the food room. That they know better than me.
Pat's food room.
Whatever comes out, I'm like, well, they meant it to be this way, so I have to eat it.
We're getting to the chat room. We're getting some people pointing it out. Okay, Andrea. Oh, wow, Andrea. Andrea said, we made Maisie eat a sandwich one time, not realizing that they forgot to pull the plastic off of the cheese. It was just a cheese sandwich, and the stoner had just put a piece of, like, a scrap single on it, and then Maisie's like, this tastes gross. And we're like, you eat your food because citizens, we eat our stuff. Come on. You know, like,
Eat the plastic.
Yeah, I was like, you eat it. And yeah, that was child abuse, straight child abuse.
So before we read what this article says, Chef Pat, what would you suggest people say if they want to send something back?
Well, you already hit one,
and you're insulted by
and
it,
it's
right?
important that I want to give us some confidence. We already hit one that is true.
It depends on why and what.
Chef Pat already got one of the big ones. It said, "Don't assume the restaurant's dirty over a stray hair. It happens." Okay, thank you. I think that's a big one. A lot of people will like freak out. It's like, you do realize that everyone working here has hair.
Yeah, and there's a lot of humans
We're
involved,
animals.
and then hair flies around in the wind, you know, whatever. But if they're like criticizing the way something's cooked, and you know it's cooked properly, what do you do then?
I'll argue the hell out of it.
Yeah.
No, I've many times over the years I've had people try to tell me that their pork was chicken or that their veal was pork or something like that. And
like is it a different animal?
Different
no,
protein.
well, like they got a pork schnitzel, but our pork is very lean and very juicy, and it's the other white meat, right? So they're like, this is chicken, this isn't pork. I'm like, no, ma'am, I promise you that's pork. Like, even like, not if I lie or whatever, but like I cooked it myself. Or like, how do you know? I'm like, well, because I've been the chef here for 20 years and I've seen thousands of these go out. I can
Do you
tell
carry
by
the belt when you say that? I feel like it would carry. I feel like it would carry more weight if you carried the belt.
If I have to go to tables now, I might start carrying the belt out just so they know. How
Just
do you
for
know?
confidence. Yeah. You can slap it a little. Yeah.
That's how I know.
Yeah. Because I got the strap. I got the strap.
And I also like people, and I do this all the time, is to say something confidently that you know nothing about. Or it's like, what even gives you the right to say that?
Oh, this is definitely chicken.
And I'll go make you the same thing over again and bring it out, and it's going to look just like this if you would like.
Oh, that's what you'll say.
Yeah, 100%. And
Yeah.
usually they feel like,
Has anybody taken you up on it before? Probably, right?
Yeah.
Like one or two. And you kind of just
That's
eat
fine,
that. That's
yeah.
just restaurants, right?
Sure.
That's just food service because it's hard.
Right.
It is a very difficult
and then
job.
I just know that I'm better than you.
What do you want to start with? You want to go with do this or don't do this?
Okay.
Your choice.
Let's start with a don't do.
Okay. Don't send a dish back just because you changed your mind about what you wanted. I have seen people do this. I have been in parties where people do this. That is a dickhead move.
That's the worst kind of person right there.
Don't do that. That's a lie. You're lying. You did want that, and then you changed your mind. You did at the time. You lied.
What's the window of opportunity?
Oh, defending a monster. I like this guy. I want to high five you right now.
Because what if you change your mind 5 minutes after you ordered?
You should have thought about it beforehand.
No, wait. I'll give you
Well,
one.
because
I'll
if you
give you
haven't-
one.
Be an adult. Be an adult.
I'll give you one. So Eric's taking our orders, okay?
Yeah.
And he starts with Greg, and he's going through, and Greg says he wants a chicken schnitzel, but he really, by the time we get to Dan, me, he wants a pork schnitzel. If he can catch him before he leaves the table, I think you can get it changed.
Acceptable.
Oh yeah, that's acceptable.
That's acceptable.
Once it's sent through, though, you're like
done.
you said, you're a dickhead.
You're
after
done.
that.
Yeah, you are a dickhead if you do that.
Well, like how?
I think Jim Colbert does that.
How quickly do they start the work? Is it as soon as it?
Well, you need a camera on it. You need to be able to see it.
Wait,
you know.
what if I get back there and like they just put it through? I'm like, oh!
Is that how you stop them? You're like, ah!
I'm joking.
I don't know.
Yeah, don't
It's a
change
big
it.
pain as like a server, though. You know, you take the order, you put everything in, and the guy comes up to you, changes the order. You got to go back. Sorry, guys. Don't actually make this. I need you to make this. I got to get
86
the
the
manager.
thing,
I got
yeah.
to do all it.
Then
like,
half the time, the original one still gets made because there's a lot of stuff going on back there.
I do
so.
like that. I will tell you, when it still gets made and they bring it to the table and they're like, you can just keep it. I'm like,
And cooks are mean. Cooks are mean.
Okay.
So just, you know.
All right.
Yeah,
That's
you
good
don't
to
want to
know.
go. You don't
It's
want to go
hot.
back
Things
there.
are heavy
You
and
want me to
sharp.
give you a few do's?
Yeah.
All right. Speak politely if something is clearly wrong, like i.e. cold food, undercooked meat, unexpected allergens. Be specific about why you are not satisfied. Details help the kitchen correct the issue.
For sure. Yeah, tell me what's
That's.
wrong.
I think that's where you would, and this is not a diss. I think you'd have problems because details to you could be perceived as if you're like hurting the person's feelings.
Yes, or I'm personally weak for not eating this raw.
Well, I didn't think that. That was not something I saw.
It's like, I don't like it that much. I'm a baby.
Okay.
That's what I'm telling another grown human.
That's extra crazy, and I like that.
That I'm too much of a baby just to eat what they gave me.
Request a remake if the dish arrives not as ordered. Ask if a dish is supposed to be served hot if it arrives cold. See, I don't agree with that one. That sounds passive-aggressive to me.
Oh,
no?
Chef Patrick aggressive right there. We went
Is this the proper way, Pat?
Probably not, but I'm a dickhead too. So
yeah. Well, but this is the Wall Street Journal. I would think that from their food, the etiquette.
We went to a big chain restaurant that's known for their extensive menu and many types of cakes of every variety.
I know what you're talking about. Cheesecake Factory.
And got us. My wife ordered a Korean bulgogi bowl or something. Everything came out room temp. Like the beef was room temp, the rice was room temp, the pickled veg were room temp.
Yeah.
I called the server over. I'm like, hey, is all this supposed to be the same temp? Like, should the rice and beef be warm and the pickles be hot? I don't know. Let me go get a manager. Manager came over to tell me that that's how they served it. And my answer was, what would the health inspector think about that? And he...
Tom would never do that. Tom's never going to fire up health inspector.
You're bringing in the government?
My God, you just ratchet. You just took it to Donald Trump. You took it top tier.
And then he went in the office the rest of the time.
Oh, my God. You took it to the president.
I do like it. What would President Trump think about this?
Is he going to make this dish hot? Is everything here supposed to be lukewarm? I don't think it is. I don't think it is.
No, but no.
I don't know. I don't know if it is.
Sir, this is a factory. Do you know what goes on in a factory?
Let's see. Take your leftovers home if you're too full. That's on you, not the restaurant. If an unlisted ingredient like cilantro ruins the dish for you, say something, especially if it wasn't on the menu.
Hold on, take the leftovers home? What is that?
No, if you're not going to eat it, don't waste the to-go box in the bag and my server's time of getting it for you.
Correct.
Just leave it on the plate.
People do that all the time. People, I see it. People
feel bad about leaving food. No, throw it away. We compost. It's good for the environment.
Yeah, they ask for the stuff. Like
I do this all the time.
I knew it. It was coming out of my mouth.
Everything we take because
your boys didn't eat, and you don't want to look like they didn't eat, so you get the to-go boxes, you box it up, and then you whoops, I left it on the table.
Because if you don't eat it, and the server, everybody's like, oh, you don't like it? What's wrong with that?
That's not how it works.
You're wasting everybody's time.
Your emotions are on the outside. You have outside emotions.
So I take it, even though I walk around as I throw this away. But I make them pack it up because I make it.
You make them pack it? No, dude. No, if you pack it up and leave it there, I'll give you a little bit of a pass.
No. They bring
Chase you down with it, sir.
Oh, my God. I would pay anything to have Chef Pat versus Tom at a one-night restaurant where Pat's chasing you down with leftovers. You're running to your truck.
Because if I don't eat it, they feel sad. You see what I'm saying? Chef Pat feels sad. They all feel sad.
I only feel sad if you don't like it. And the server should know if they see like more than should be left on a plate. Hey, did you not like this or something like that?
Yeah.
Yeah, I want to make Chef Pat feel sad. So
that doesn't work like that. Here's a big one.
Even if I'm not even going to eat it, we're just like, let's just take it, leave it in the car.
I love that you think this is where
up the car in the morning.
Where his ego explodes. He thinks that at any restaurant he goes to, people get back there and they look at his plate and they're like, oh, man. He didn't like my food.
I make the server stop before they get to the dish pit, and I have a checklist with the tables. Say, nope.
I will force eat my son's food so to not hurt the feelings of the restaurant.
See, I just do that to not waste my damn money because it's so expensive.
True. That's the part that I would get so mad. Yeah. This is a big one. I think Pat will agree. Don't ask for substitutions or changes to a dish that is clearly presented as a, quote, chef-driven or fixed-style cuisine.
That part.
So explain that to me.
Oh, God.
Sorry.
You're okay.
But this
I'm
is
trying
a
to
big
figure
one
out.
because I see people do this at tastings a lot, and it makes me sad because they'll be doing like a beer pairing. I'll jump in and do some heavy lifting. Let's say I'm at a beer pairing real quick at Hollerbach, and they're going to have some awesome German beer, and they're going to pair it with Chef Pat's awesome German food. And then somebody's sitting there, and then they bring out the pairing, and then they're like, I can't do this right here. Can you actually make an exception and instead of making it this, make it this? And it's like, well, no, that's not
you just
what.
don't eat it?
That's not what this was.
Yeah.
This was fixed.
Yeah, we're presenting to you the way it's
wants
art
it
at
Pat's
this
way.
point. Yeah. It's telling an artist like, I don't like this windmill.
It's exactly that.
You're like, it's not for you.
Yeah.
Well, it is for you, and that's what's weird about food, though.
Sure.
Because like people, they're like, I like this, and you're like, you don't understand what you're doing here.
I like the way you put that.
I am a food artist. I'm presenting you different tastes that you are supposed to experience the way they're supposed to be experienced, right?
Sure. So one of our dishes, sauerbraten. Like most of our things have set sides on the menu that they come as a certain way, but you can change it. It doesn't hurt my feelings. Do I think it tastes better the way we sell it? Yeah, sure, of course. But again, that's on you. However, if I'm, say, doing one of my chef's nights, don't tell me you don't like something on the thing and ask to change it, because that's not how it's supposed to be.
It
That's
also
not for you.
slows down and kind of ruins the idea. The kitchen has got it set in a way where
Right.
they can maximize their efficiency, and not just efficiency, but I think the overall experience and the way that the food is going to taste, because it might be set up a specific way just to do
So I'll say
X.
there's the what's the place downtown Disney, the big Irish place that we went to.
Oh, Raglan Road.
So that's one of the only other like 700 seat restaurants in the area.
Big
so
boy,
we
yeah.
got a tour of their thing and how it works. But number one, they're busy all the time because they have tourists. But on the other hand, all their dishes, you order fish and chips. Do you know what you get with that? Fish and chips for every order. You order shepherd's pie. Do you know how that comes every time? How the shepherd's pie comes. Whereas our 700 seats, Tom doesn't like sauerkraut with his sausage. He wants to get cucumbers instead. Dan doesn't eat red cabbage. So we have to stop at every plate that gets plated for the most part and look at the sides to plate it. And that's what takes time up. And the server's having to put in those sides to the computer. That's what takes the time
And this
up.
isn't a diss. It's just,
No.
This is a little
That's
more.
just real.
This is more custom. Like
Sure.
this is a little more of your family.
Sure.
Restaurant.
So if you come into my restaurant, look at the menu, know exactly what you want, order it how it comes off the menu, you're going to get it quicker, even by 30 seconds per minute. Just literally the time that it takes for the server to do it and the cook to read it is a difference. And you got to think over 700 guests, how incrementally that just stacks up over the end of the night. So
That
The
makes
last
sense,
one
yeah.
that apparently is a big problem. I didn't know. You can, and this is the final one. You guys can weigh in, Eric, and maybe he knows about this one. Don't try to remove something from the bill because you filled up on bread. If you ordered it, you pay for it. And I was like, wow, that's a thing where people come in, they over order, and then they're like, well, we didn't necessarily need that or anything, and then they try
I'm too
to
full to eat this.
that is apparently I don't dine out enough to have seen this epidemic of people doing this. Is that a thing?
I mean, most of the people that I go with, getting filled up on bread isn't a thing. We all just like food too much. So when I go out to eat, but no, usually people know, like especially at Hollerbach, our portion sizes are giant. So a to-go box is not out of the question for sure. So it's kind of expected.
So, guys, we appreciate you guys coming in. Anything
man.
else that we want to hit?
Yeah, let's
at
plug
Hollerbach?
some
food
things.
trucks Sunday. Greg Runge will be out doing walk-in tacos.
Oh, you're doing the little bags and you put all the stuff in it?
Oh,
and-
yeah.
Oh, those are great.
Or bring your own bag or whatever you want, and Greg will put stuff on top of it.
Bring your own bag.
Eric did hot fries last time.
It was amazing.
Wait a minute, so my daughter can roll up there with some of her like
Some
favorite.
Takis or-
Oh yeah.
Actually,
For sure.
I don't care what you bring. I'll put it on top of it. So
okay,
it's,
all right.
It's a
I'm gonna
dirt.
bring my dead mom's panties. I'm gonna bring my dead mom's panties.
We put it in my shoe, Greg.
Yeah.
We're in, yeah, for $5. So it's so for $7 you get a Doritos bag with all the good taco stuff, all the good fillings. But if you bring your own bag, or again like fries from your favorite spot or whatever, $5 a scoop.
There you
Get
go.
all the stuff.
You're like,
Roll
oh my-
your boys through there. Fill their shoes with chili.
It's gonna be
love that.
it's the cheapest stop
You
on the
mean to
block.
tell me Tommy
bro.
Van would not love that for his birthday if you said, hold on, we got to fill your shoes with chili, and you just drove up and then had Runge pour chili in your son's shoes and then drive away?
You're like the hot air balloon guy from Waterworld who put anything. if you put chili in
$5. $5 a scoop.
You
baby.
might get some of our listeners that ride by what their shoes filled.
Yeah, I would love to see the craziest thing that you bring.
Yeah, bring something funny.
That's this Sunday.
Yeah.
The food trucks.
Yeah, on May the 4th.
Yep.
It's
There
for
you
the
go.
Cinco de Mayo food truck.
Oh, that's
Awesome.
awesome. That's
And
awesome.
come through Hollerbach and stick your face in the back and say what's up to Mike B sometime.
Yeah, we need to talk about that a little bit too. Yeah, the B is there.
The mustache is coming back.
Yeah, man.
That's
He's there.
awesome. We're also getting new pens, so make sure to ask for a
Ooh,
Tom and
so
Dan
many
pen.
people have been asking about
Yeah,
that.
we just ordered. Thank you to Eric Pabone for making some new German art for our pens.
Yeah,
but
man.
just swing by Hollerbach and ask for a Tom and Dan pen, and
Please do.
And then see if Chef Pat's working, because he always likes seeing other BDMs and Tom and
I
Dan.
saw like 3 or 4 people post on the same day that they were there, and I was there, and nobody said a word to me, and that's what disappoints Chef Pat.
Yeah,
it
you
seems
gotta
like
say
you're
hi.
bothered. Like you're like this guy's working. It's not like he can't just leave the
Yeah, but you
the
are
food
bothering,
room
but he
to
likes
come-
it. He likes being bothered.
That's part of my job
I
is to
know.
look bothered while I go talk to guests,
Yeah.
even though I really do like it.
I mean, well, I mean, like to finish. I mean, that is part of your job, right? Talking to
100%,
guests. Yeah, I
100%.
mean, like that's a big.
I've got chefs that run the kitchen for the most part, so that literally is what I would rather be doing is
Yeah.
talking to people. So say what's up, guys.
Like I'm the face of Tom and Dan. I mean, you're not. You're all behind the scenes. But you're so grumpy and weird. But me, people are like, "Oh, we love this little guy. He's dancing all around. Look at his crazy beard. Oh, look at his limp."
all right, it's Hollerbach's German Restaurant, downtown Sanford, and we'll be right back.
Awesome. Thank you, guys.
Perfect.
That was fun.
Thank you.
Sorry.
Where's that go?
Sorry,
T, where's that go?
that will be Friday 2.
Okay, gotcha. Thank you guys for coming in, y'all.
Heck yeah. Have y'all been to Walala yet? The noodle place?
No.
It's like all you can eat noodles, like hand pulled ramen and hand pulled udon or something.
Where's it at?
Down 50, right?
Yeah, it's on Colonial.
Yeah.
Oh
Okay.
man, I'll have to take my daughter there because that's her grub.
I'll check it. Mine too, Dan. That's why we're going to check it out.
Oh yeah, text me and let me know if you like it, because any place that I can feed her for like less than like a Domu or a 88 or these places.
Hand pulled just Chinese noodles, I think. Yeah, yeah.
We're gonna find out.
Yeah.
Like with like the different proteins, red pork
I
and
don't know, I
eggs and
don't know.
stuff. She likes that red pork.
Chashu.
That's the
Have you
one.
been Tasty Walk?
Andrea will not go there anymore because we go there all the time. I love Tasty Walk.
So
Tasty Walk.
That's the red ring around.
Yeah,
Oh
the chashu,
yeah,
the-
it's so
that's
good.
Like, that's like New England.
It's
Chinese
so
food.
good,
that
man.
and the pork belly there.
Yes.
So that's Eric and I's
And
go
we've
to.
definitely been like, guys, we can't do Wednesday because Tasty Walk's closed. We got to do a Thursday.
Yeah.
Come down here. Like,
Tasty
literally.
Walk. We are a Tasty Walk family. That's funny to
sure.
hear you guys say that.
Dustin and Dom actually got us on, or was
that
it
who it
Dom?
was? I think it was
Dom.
Probably Dom. He got me on it. I think.
Dom and his wife got us
Yeah.
on that.
Tasty Walk slaps, dude. It's good.
For sure.
It's
so
really,
we
really
went to the thing across the street. What was that one?
Zaru.
Yeah, Zaru was meh.
Michelin recommendation too.
Yeah, no, it was
fine.
horse crap.
Okay.
And then what's the one right next to it? Mamak.
I like Mamak.
Mamak is
Mamak was
okay,
good.
but they used to be Hawkers, or they left
I think they're
Hawkers or
all
something.
No, they're a
They-
competitor to Hawkers. Completely
I like Hawkers
different.
better, though.
See, I like Mamak better.
Do you?
Yeah, yeah.
Hawkers wings are better.
Hawkers fell off for me. They were like, no offense, I love Hawkers,
Sure.
but it just got.
Yeah.
The roadie at Mamak I like better.
Oh,
but-
their roti is really good. Yeah.
Yeah,
I just like, you know what? Honestly, man, I don't even care. Give me all of it.
yeah. It's all so.
It's
similar.
so good. I
But
just
we
like I
do
don't
prefer
care.
Mamak
this one.
too.
We're Asian foodmen. I started doing my own Chinese food on Friday nights.
What?
No shit.
See, I can't do that.
I'm gonna start videoing and posting.
Maisie
it.
wants me to do sushi, and I'm like, baby, I can't do that.
I did my own wontons. I'm doing egg drop this week.
Eric, love you, buddy. Thank you.
I know-
Grunge,
I know
thank you,
you
buddy.
were-
Fuck with me anytime.
Boom.
Go break
And
it.
I like your glasses. They're very Daniel. Dan looks like short Gandalf. Nailed it. Nailed it. 5 to 25. 1:30 minutes.
From WWE shop, but it's like this.
5 minutes.
When I did stuff with the NBA,
Fuck.
one of the dunk contest people wanted a belt, and thankfully I had
Yeah, right.
contacts with them. And sent me like an actual belt that like they were using. It is nice. It was like twice as heavy as that. Like they ended up bailing on it. Yeah, they ended up using it.
I don't know if we're gonna.
This was when they were in New York at Barclays or whatever. Oh, nice. So like WWE is right there, but the actual belts are stupidly heavy, like even heavier than that.
Kill that.
So the fact that they just like have it on their waist and they just whip it out or
here. Perfect for Kenny.
Yeah.
It's like a baby.
All right.
We interviewed someone that makes those things, like custom or whatever. It's a long process. Like they just do it for like novelty. Other people they sell them or whatever. But
The sports team one's cool. The Orlando Magic one that Magico has is pretty solid.
Yeah.
I want a Braves one.
Ooh, a Braves one would be nice.
like now they do them custom. Like
We interviewed one of those guys that does.
That's what you're saying.
Oh, sorry.
You're stuck in your world, brother.
I'm over here in my little.
I'll talk to you soon.
See y'all. Have a good lunch. What's up, Kenny?
Yo.
How you doing, buddy?
I'm good. How are you?
Good to see you, man. Let me get your new camera dialed in.
Yeah.
All right, so
My
Kenny-
tall drink of water,
Someone left
Kenny.
their cell phone.
Oh, nice grab. Oh my God, there's full-blown gay porn on it. Weird. That's weird. That Chef Pat would be looking at that horrible porno while he's doing the show.
Why is he taking dick pics mid-show?
How long did we do? 30?
30.
Okay, 10, 12. So we'll have to split this up. We'll do a 10 to 12 minute segment with you for Friday, and then we'll just do another 20 or longer segment for Monday. So we'll kind of switch
I do have
it
a
up.
story if you need it, but we can just
Let's do it.
whatever.
Let's do your story. Because
For
that'll
the
be
10?
good. Yeah.
All right. Oh, did you see the rendering of the Braves playing at the Bristol Motor Speedway? So at the NASCAR track, they're going to do a Braves game and concert.
Badass.
Like half of the stadium, like see if you can look it up, but half the stadium is will be a baseball stadium. Then the other half is set up for a concert. I think it's Tim McGraw. I can't remember. It was like some huge ass country
I
artist.
don't want Tim McGraw. I'd go, but
Maybe it's not Tim McGraw.
I don't have any interest in Tim. I don't see the rendering.
Here, I'll see if I can find it.
I have to use this new. Oh, okay, I got it here, I think. Yeah, there we go. I got it.
Yeah, it's neat how they like pulled off that. You know, they're in the middle of the whatever.
Okay. Conway J said, "Did you guys see the dude that fell 21 feet at the Pirates game?" last
Yeah.
night?" No, I didn't.
He's in critical condition.
Oh, I don't want to watch that then.
Yeah, he fell off the wall.
Yeah. Oh man, was he trying?
Catch a ball?
I don't
Sometimes
know.
they're
I don't know,
not.
actually.
Sometimes they're just leaning. Conway J says, "Okay, maybe I'll look it up."
Oh, and it looks like he fell onto the field. Like he fell from the stands onto the field.
I'm so used to searching on my Mac and I can get everything like super fast. And I do it this way and I can't find shit for shit on this fucking computer.
I mean, the fact that like local. Oh shit!
Is it bad?
It's 21 feet, which you don't realize how high that is. I mean, the local news is talking about it. It looks like he just fell over the railing and then just tumbles. They stop it before he hits the ground, though. So you probably can find. Yeah, and it was like mid-play, too, so it probably was going for the ball.
I fell in the warning track. Oh,
Yeah.
shit. That's not good.
Again, they stop it before he hits the ground.
Even when baseball players jump for balls, they get hurt. So I can only imagine what he would do falling 21 feet. You know what I mean? Out of shape.
Well, we've seen like they had to increase like netting at hockey games because like pucks would fly and hit old Mimas right in the face.
Yeah.
Oh man, you get hit in the face with a puck.
Yeah.
That's gonna hurt.
We have a friend that had that happen.
They had to like put up way more netting on it.
Mellow
But yeah,
Mellow Mike got hit after he did a Friday. He did like this Friday night trivia, and we saw him. And then the next night, he went to a Saturday night Solar Bears game, and he was sitting up in the rafters with his son Jack, and a puck hit him smack in the face. And he had to go into the tunnel and get medical attention and stitches and everything. And then they gave him a jersey and a puck and and some tickets to come back, and that was the end of it.
Huh.
but did you see
like that.
Tom
Yeah,
the
he did it
dude
the right
falling
way.
at the?
I have the
Pittsburgh?
video, but I don't necessarily want to watch it.
Does it show him hitting the ground,
So,
or does he disappear behind the wall?
No. He falls onto the field. Like, it's during play.
And then you see his spirit come out like a cartoon, and it flies into the sky.
But, so any news outlet will show him tumbling over the railing, but then they'll stop it before he hits the ground.
How far?
21 feet.
21 feet.
That's way far.
Ooh,
That's literally like go up to the top, like basically go up to the roof and
Here's
then
the end
jump
of our warm-up. Maisie asked me 2 days ago when they were finishing our roof on our home. It's done, finally. No sprinklers went off. We're good. She asked me, why are they belted in? Are they hooked to the roof? And they're not.
Really?
Not one person on that roof looked hooked on. I mean, maybe they are in some weird way that you can't see, but...
Well, as long as OSHA's not around, you're like, I don't want to put on these harnesses and shit. I don't know if I can get to work.
All right. Would you like to start, Mr. Van? Here we go. And check. Hold on. And 3, 2.
Welcome to A Corporate Time with Tom and Dan. I'm Tom.
I am Dan. We are live on Twitch and YouTube, and you can be with us as well. Just search for @TomandDan Live on Twitch or YouTube.
We got some brand new merch at TomandDan.com. We got a new T-shirt.
Yeah.
And maybe some BDM shirts. We had a couple leftovers we're selling. Anyway, go to TomandDan.com and you can get your merch there.
I'm going to foreshadow a horrible argument that we will be having in the next couple of weeks. And I don't know how this fell through the cracks. We do have a guest here. I'll get to him in a minute. Our very good friend, some would say family member of the show, some say the third member of Tom and Dan, Tuttle, did not receive a Tuttle shirt. He did not get one, and now they are all gone.
Didn't we order? You ordered extra for him,
I
right?
thought I ordered him one, and maybe I didn't.
Okay.
It's possible. It's possible in the way that we do things. I don't mean to even lump you in there. In the way that I do things, it is completely possible. I won't even saddle you with that. I'll put this on me. It is very possible that I was having hip surgery. It's very possible that in that time that I did not set aside a shirt for Tuttle, even though his likeness is on the shirt.
Yeah.
And they're all
I think
gone.
I told him. I was like, we set aside a shirt. Daniel got you an extra one.
You lied.
Yeah,
Then,
you told me that.
I think I did tell you that.
You're like, I got
lied.
Tuttle an extra one.
I lied to you.
And
I
was like, okay, that's good.
That was a bold-faced lie.
But does he need the shirt to show that he has a big old T when we all know he's got the big old T?
Yeah. Well, no. Well, it's okay. Well, anyway, we'll get to it.
I seen it.
He just texted me and he said, "Hey, where's my shirt?" And I texted him, "Hey, let me check with Eric." And then Eric said, "We don't have any." And then I just kind of left it alone. And then I've seen him grow increasingly maybe a little snappier on the medium page here and there. And that's just his, that's just his.
Yeah. Every time there's a knock at the door, I'm like, oh, Tuttle is going to gun us
He's
down.
going to gun us down.
I mean, I don't think that much about it. It just goes through my head.
Once a day.
A little bit.
It's a more than 0% chance.
Yeah.
Hey, everybody. Kenny's here.
Hey-o.
Oh, my thing's not working. I was going to give you a blast. There we go. Oh, God.
Feedback. This studio is on ground level, not 21 feet in the air. That's a little warm-up joke for you. A little warm-up joke.
So, what do you want to talk about today?
Twitch.tv/Tom and Dan Live.
There you go.
So, this was it kind of reminded me of what, you guys say we're just bad at business or whatever. And this was an actual story happening out in England. So I think British Richard will probably correct me on a lot of the details there. But it was a very Michael Scott moment. So to set the scene, there is a store there in the 80s. It was called Ratner's, and it was a jewelry store, but it was like a discount jewelry store. And when I say discount jewelry, I mean like it's glass. It's not actual diamonds. And they would basically...
Like costume jewelry.
Exactly. Okay. But they would be like, hey, why go to the fancy jewelry shop, pay $300 for a pair of diamond earrings when for $2 you can get glass earrings that look exactly the same?
That's what I told my wife.
It's the Chad Ochocinco where it's like, but he was catering to people who were like, yeah, I just want to wear it. Now, he knew, and like everyone knew, it kind of had the reputation that you wear the earrings once, they're going to fall apart. Like it's basically like a one-time only kind of thing. And any jewelry that you get from the store, Ratner's,
is... So it's like a Tom and Dan t-shirt.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, very cheap, whatever.
Excellent.
But he became, the guy's name is Gerald Ratner, and he's the owner of it.
I thought you were going to say his name is Jared. And I was going to be like, what are the odds? That's like a jewelry name.
I like that his actual name is the name of the place.
He became stupid rich, like private jets, private chauffeurs, helicopters in England. Like
for selling costume jewelry?
But like, because he ended up getting like 50% of the jewelry market in England. Because the
Brits are cheap?
He was very Carnival Barker-like, where he was like, oh my God, 90% off sale. You got to buy this gold necklace now, even though it's, maybe like 1% gold and the rest is just like aluminum or whatever. And he would do that. And then, his stores were very much like giant mega marts of jewelry that were stupidly cheap.
Okay.
So it was huge, stock prices through the roof. He was living the life. So they invited him. They're like, hey, you're really rich. We're going to invite you to this business conference in England. This was like 6 years after, he had made
This is Tom's dream for somebody to come up here and be, hey, you're really rich. We're going to invite you to this business conference. You'd be like, yes,
and you're gonna give the keynote, to all these other businessmen.
You know how insulted I am every day that no one invites me to any business conference whatsoever.
Do you know
no one's even asked me about business ever. No one.
I think about this laying in bed at night. I do think about this, and this is not a joke.
They ask Daniel all the time about audio, computers.
But you and I are
every day.
Yeah.
It happened the other day. Not one business question.
I'm going to say something. I don't want you to get mad or punch me just out of reaction. This is not looked upon as a successful business. I'm sorry.
But
Good day. It is not.
We've been in business for a decade.
I know,
10
but
years.
people don't look at this and think that you and I are businessmen. We own a small business that is
our full-time job.
But I guarantee you, if I ask, like,
we're not millionaires, but we made a living.
Nobody we know, even the people that we care about, think that we are they don't know how this is happening.
The typewriter repair shop on Mills has also been around for really long, but I don't think anyone thinks that they're
our wives.
Well, they're paying the rent, Kenny, and they're there. They're open. We're open.
Nobody knows how this is even happening. And that guy finally did sell. He did finally sell. I think he died.
If you're open, you're successful. That's all I'm saying. Especially after enough time. After 10 years, if you're open, success. Can we all?
No one will ever say that. No.
It has to be true.
No.
They
look at us and they're like, I don't know about these guys. I don't know about these guys.
Yeah. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
So this guy sucked at public speaking. He was nervous. He hated it. He had no idea what to do. So he pulled the Michael Scott where, someone told him, hey, crack some jokes at yourself. I think that's going to, make the crowd appreciate it. So he gives up the speech. And he goes up there, and one of the jokes he tells is, a lot of people wonder, hey, how does Ratner sell jewelry so cheap? And I always say it's because we sell total crap. And the crowd's like, ha, 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 because, it's all businessmen or whatever.
How cheap is it?
And then he did another thing. It's like, you can buy a pair of earrings for less than a tuna fish sandwich, and I can guarantee that tuna fish sandwich will last a lot longer than our jewelry. Ha, 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 whatever.
Okay, yeah.
So
self-deprecating humor.
End of the conference, like the businessmen, they're like, they're cheering. He's applauding. Well, their customers didn't think it was that funny because basically the guy was insulting.
He's saying it is jewelry we're wearing his crap.
Exactly, because he was basically implying that, if you shop at our store, you're a dum-dum who wants cheap crap and, whatever.
We kind of do this to our listeners.
We're the Ratners of radio.
Yeah, so like the next day, so this was like in the early 90s, so the newspapers printed the speech or whatever, and a bunch of customers.
That makes me little Ratner.
They took all their jewelry and tried to return it back. They're like, how dare you insult us? And it was two-part. One, insulting the customers for like, look how cheap our crap is. You're buying it, ha, ha, ha. And then the second one, because all of the rich businessmen were laughing at it, it was like, oh, you guys clearly don't understand why we're buying it. You just think we're buying it because we're dumb.
They gave up the punchline.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So the Gerald Ratner, he was like, uh-oh, that's not good. So he started more self-deprecating humor. He started selling T-shirts and hats that say, we sell total crap, like making fun of his own speech.
He leaned in. We're going to have to do that. Eric, if you're listening, we need some shirts printed.
Tom and Dan, the Ratners of radio. So
you're listening to Total Crap, and you know it.
Their stock price dropped like £500 million in just a couple months.
Oh, man.
I wish my wife would do that. Hey!
Ratners of radio.
So
print the T-shirt.
In irony, he was like, "Uh-oh, I need to stop being the face of Ratner's," because he was like always the main dude. So he hired a
This
new.
is the greatest story you've ever brought to us.
He hired a new chairman, and the first thing that the chairman did was fire the guy. He fired Ratner's from his own company. He was like, "Nah, you got to get out. Sorry,
you got to do that. They're doing
Bye-bye.
that with Doge right now. You got to do it. Sometimes you got to get the cancer out of it. Get him out of here."
So I don't know like what the current status is. I think they're still around and they've slowly, kind of built back up and repositioned. But it's now become in the British lexicon, like when someone makes a business mistake, they call it a Ratner moment. So that's how impactful it is. So and literally one speech, the dude went from like multi-bajillionaire to just completely tanking his business, all because he made a couple of cracks at his own company.
I love that.
That's got to be the worst because let's say in any other scenario, like your company gets devalued by half, right? And most of the time, it's because of something you can't control,
like
the economy. Like some new technology.
Yeah.
You
mean like just something naturally happens?
Yeah, competition, and it's a bad feeling, but it happens. It's like that's the way business goes.
What's happening right now with AI? I mean, the job, that we have jobs that are being flipped upside down.
Yeah. So many things. I mean, it happened with music when the MP3s, and it happened with pornography when everything just went to tube sites and then just stole the value out of it. And
only a real Radner would bring up pornography. I got to give you a fist bump for that one.
But when you do it yourself, and it's literally just a direct result for some joke you made that you didn't even have to go there. You didn't even have to do the
like
speech.
a Nazi salute.
What's crazy is
people do dumb things and then it affects their companies.
But see, that night he's riding on top of the world because everyone in the audience was laughing along with him, and he's thinking this was the most successful speech. I'm a hero.
This is why you bounce
these
these things off of pros, right? This is why you get your friend who's a comedian, and you got to bounce some things off of him.
Supposedly, that was the advice he got was from like a professional public speaker who told him to do that.
Some old comedian. There was Fatty Arbuckle, was giving him.
What I wonder what fueled the media of it, because technically nobody would have known unless it must have been a time where it got published in like a popular newspaper or it was on TV.
It was like the main newspaper of England or whatever. And I think it was just because because
no one would have known unless the media companies didn't shove it in everybody's faces, because it was pre-social media. Now, back then, you had to have coverage for people to know. Like, if this wasn't a story that the media picked up on, it would have been nothing.
I will say there is video of it. It's very British, but he's sitting there and he's like, a lot of people don't think that our products are crap. I don't know. I can't do a British accent.
That is terrible.
But the only reason
that again, my God.
The only reason people saw the video is because the news played it or whatever. Because the pre-social media, you needed someone to present it. So it's really the media companies caused his own destruction.
Check this out. This is a story. This is really.
It's gonna be so British.
Let me see if I can get the sound on this to work. Here, hold on.
And it's honestly the way they portrayed it.
He destroyed it, comparing his products to rubbish. He said a pair of earrings were cheaper than a prawn sandwich and wouldn't last as long. The speech bombed and his company nearly collapsed, though it wasn't the end of his business career. We can speak to Mr. Ratner now. Good afternoon to you.
Go ahead.
The speech didn't bomb, though, right? People were laughing.
Well, in the crowd, it didn't bomb, but to the rest of society and his customers, it
bombed.
Hold on.
Well, she's misrepresenting the speech because it killed. That's the reason that everybody's so mad.
He knew his audience.
Yeah.
Listen.
So it didn't bomb. The people
the
outside,
other millionaires who don't shop at his stores, they loved it.
And it's kind of unfair to Ratner because if you really ask them that, outside of his regular business, I'm sure he'd say it's not as high quality as actual gold, but he believes in his business probably. He was trying to make jokes.
Couldn't he be defrauding them though? You're arguing as if there's no possible way that a man could make inferior jewelry that he knows.
No, he knew it was inferior, and I think
misrepresenting.
it was one of those
like
customers knew. Like they,
Yeah, it
they
was
didn't
a
say
don't-
this is 24
Well, they know it's
karat.
a value.
Yeah, it was a don't talk about it scenario. I think because again, it was the
It's
example.
like IKEA furniture.
It's like, okay, you have a quote unquote diamond earring. Well, the customer knows it's glass. They're calling it glass, but I think they're calling it like, oh, this is a diamond style earring. You know what I
Yes,
mean?
yeah,
And the
yeah.
customers know that it's not actual diamonds. That's why they're able to get it for a couple bucks.
But but it's the marketing. It's the fact that like you could buy something that looks quality and it's not for super cheap. And but anyway, yeah, him making a joke about it would be like the who's the head of IKEA?
Ingvard.
Ingvard.
Ingvard IKEA.
Yeah, I forget his last name.
If Ingvard was heard talking about how he makes sub-quality stuff that morons buy, and it's all like a particle board that will fall apart.
right.
You know, like, he's
Or
like,
swell up with water.
I bring it up because you guys do insult your listeners like a lot,
Yeah,
and just
yeah.
say they're really dumb for listening to this
That's
show.
our favorite thing.
let's hear what Ratner says.
How would Ratner do a podcast?
Yeah, let's check in with Radner for a second.
So just to wrap it up,
Gerald, I
so
wonder if we can go back 30 years ago, pre this infamous now Albert Hall speech. What the world of Gerald Ratner was like at that time?
Well, we just announced profits of 125 million the day before. In fact, we were going for 200 million in that
and
year.
that was in like the 90s or the late 80s, early 90s too.
That's
So
a stinger,
that's a
man.
lot of money.
Yeah, that's
profits.
I didn't realize it was that much. That's
yeah,
a lot.
no, dude. Again, when your value tanks half a bill, that means you're worth like a hell of a lot.
Why are these people listening to this crap?
Enjoy
I
your
mean,
weekend.
no, I'm sorry. We will be right back.
All right, let me save that.
That's
guy.
funny. Good
Where's
job,
that
dude.
go?
That's Friday 1. And that's going to be paired with Hollerbach.
Was Game Show Drew in here?
No, Daniel bought that for Seth. Seth's coming in tomorrow.
Oh, nice. Because I was like, this definitely looks like something Game Show Drew
I
would
saw
do.
it
It's
at
like,
Target, and it's a hippo, and I bought one for me and one for Seth. I figured if anything, he can play with his baby with it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like I'm sweet.
Teach the baby young to discriminate against body shape.
Yeah. That's what I'm doing. It's amazing. I got a story I can't even tell. I told Tom the story, but I got to check with Andrea see if I can tell the story. I'm guessing no now because it would be a bit of an overshare. All right, let me get rid of that.
Congrats on her killing it, by the way, at her dance competition.
Oh, dude, thank you. Although I'm not really doing anything other than just encouraging her.
Nah,
right?
you're the real hero.
Yeah, you know what? I am. I'm the reason. Well, it's all me, like her athleticism. I think anybody can look at my hips and tell that that mine are exactly like hers. Okay, hold on a second. That's fucked up, isn't it?
Is there any other story you want? Because I want to talk also about the old Ulbricht son getting fined.
No, bring it up. We can talk about that. Especially because there were other prank calls that didn't get punished.
Yeah, Abdul Carter. Yeah, but it's I have a theory, or I want to bring it up. If it's the most costly nothing prank of all time.
Well, okay, that could be something. Look up. Have the Jerky Boys gotten sued just for one of their dumbass, like 90s prank calls?
Probably.
Maybe
but
reframe it like it's a missed. I liked it better when you were looking at it like the missed opportunity.
Well, but it's all missed opportunity, but also it was a zero, but because of who it was and everything, and then it cost fucking $250,000. Your dad $100,000.
But I kind of laugh at that because like
$350,000.
$250,000 for an NFL team is just like.
Yep.
Yeah, but $100,000 to the coach.
Well, that's a lot, but still.
Well, he's a millionaire too, but still.
I always look at that stuff like that's just what they're saying. Somebody else is paying that.
But 250. Let's say it's like I do believe the NFL eventually or whatever. Who knows? But even the 350,000 for just a nothing, and the prank wasn't even good. And,
I don't even believe like they should have thrown around some big numbers.
What's crazy is we can talk about it. But
yeah,
what's
talk about
it.
All right, hold on here.
And the fine is just obviously for him leaving the contact.
Oh, it was a
information
security
out.
breach fine. Yeah, it had nothing to do with the actual prank.
All right, so.
But it's one of those, they got to punish someone.
All right, would you like to begin, sir? Here we go. And 3, 2.
Welcome back to A Corporate Time. Kenny Sampson's here.
Hey, good to see you, buddy.
So this has been making the rounds about obviously Jeff Ulbricht's son and the prank call against Shedeur Sanders, and then he just got fined. The Falcons got fined.
Let me make a statement as an Atlanta Falcons fan.
Yeah.
Let me just make a blanket statement. Stop emailing me or texting me. I don't care about this. In fact, I like this because I dislike Shedeur. So this whole thing to me, I'm pro Falcon and I'm pro prank call. And nothing is going to change that, and I don't care.
The thing that did him in was the fact it was ego, because had the kid just not recorded himself doing the prank call with his buddy, no one would have ever known. We would still know about it because obviously Shedeur Sanders, but no one would have known it was tied to the Falcons had the kid not tried to film himself.
But that's what it's all about.
Yeah.
That's where we live in a society.
You got to film yourself.
Yeah. And that even
filming yourself gets so many people into trouble. Because everybody's chasing that fame.
Yeah.
And also, this is like misguided fame. The idea that this 21-year-old, because stop calling him a kid, too, that this 21-year-old man is so stupid to think that that could get released and people just be like, he's awesome, great job, and with no repercussions. That's so short-sighted, it makes me question your level of intelligence.
Well, it's definitely one of those. I guarantee he's telling people, hey, my dad's the defensive coordinator of the Falcons. And look at all this access I have. And people are like, okay, so he needed to prove it. He goes, oh, I'll show you. I'll yoink these superstars' phone numbers.
My mom lied to all the kids in the neighborhood and said she had an elephant in her basement. And then they all showed up at her house, and they all went down in the basement. There was no elephant. And they all hated her for life, and she cried. Can't do that. You can't tell people.
Your mom should have doubled down and be like, he escaped.
You can't tell people the stuff. You can't lie.
But Daniel's right. The fact that he recorded it and released it publicly,
it's so short-sighted,
without thinking there'd be any repercussions whatsoever, and just for the fact that of like, oh, someone's gonna say, how did he get this number? And link it to my dad. I'm his son. They know my last name is on my social media. And
he's a dumb kid, right?
Yeah. Super dumb kid.
Yeah, he's got to be a dumb kid.
Maybe it's naive.
He's 21.
He's in college. How dumb can you be?
Yeah, but is it a Billy Madison scenario where it's just like your dad has been rich because he's been a coach and successful for a while? He just grew up without any real
I think we all know that's the truth, right? I think we all know that's the case. We don't want to say that, but I think we all know that this kid has been able to have probably a pretty cushy. My dad's a defensive coordinator in the NFL.
Yeah, he's been rich. His dad's a multi-millionaire.
And this is par for the course. But it is weird to me because I don't think your economic level makes you not think about things that you actively should be risks that you should actively be weighing when you do things.
Yeah.
So let's
stop calling him a kid. He's 21.
Let's talk about the something related to this, which is doing something where your parents have to pay for it, right? It's seemingly to me it would be way worse than me because
do you ever do one?
I can't remember anything that my mom had to directly pay for because of some actions I did. I'm
it's one thing if you're a kid, you hit a baseball and it breaks a neighbor's window, and your parents have to pay for the new window because you're a kid, you don't have the money. That's
accident.
That's an accident. Well, or even if you intentionally, I'm gonna TP or the neighbor's house and it ruined
vandalize something. I remember I used to play paintball in my backyard. Just shoot paintball guns and my friends in the backyard. And I remember my neighbor, obviously the paintballs would go over the fence and then hit my neighbor's house. And then the neighbor came over but all I had to do is go clean it off.
Yeah.
So it was
pretty harmless.
But I guess if I had to pay, if my mom had to pay for repainting or I don't know.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah. But
when we were young, I remember me and 3 of my friends, there was another friend of ours that was disabled, and we used bats to destroy his wheelchair. We just beat it all into his bed. It was literally bent into nothing, and then we had to obviously buy him a new chair.
The pranker is 21. So do you think the dad tries to make him work it off and just be like, okay, you owe me $100,000 now?
Everybody keeps saying that, but I got news for you. That ain't happening. Okay, this is just what I think, and you can email. Feel free to email
$100,000
me.
is gonna be a
The
while.
kid ain't paying it. The dad ain't paying it. No one's paying it. This is all fake. The 250 is fake. The 100 to him is fake. If it's not fake, show me the receipts. I want to see it coming out of his bank account.
Well,
it's a nothing. It's just what we're being told behind the scenes. They're gonna work it out. It's just like we're rolling in.
You're right.
Stuff into a real. You know when you do a real tour, when you buy a house and then they roll everything in at the end. That's what they're doing.
The NFL, they don't put this. They publicly say they're fine, but everything is being paid internally.
Yeah, nothing's happening.
Daniel's right.
So
they could just say it.
Pulling the curtain, they technically do pay it, but it goes. It's essentially for most leagues, the fines go to charity. So it really is just a tax write-off. So it's almost like, the owner or the team will be like, okay, settle up my bill at the end of the year. How much do I technically owe kind of thing? And they work it out that way.
Yeah.
So, yes, they're getting fined, but it really
doesn't matter.
Yeah, it's not the
Glad
big
it goes
thing.
to charity, though. That's good.
Yeah, well, I mean, because what's the league's we're going to throw a pizza party with it?
It doesn't matter. Hundreds of billions. Like
I kind of wanted it to go back to the league.
And a majority of the time, like when a player depending on what it is, like if a player gets fined for, like in the NBA, for example, let's say too many technicals, if the team or the coach has his back, the team will pay the fine on behalf of the player. Like you know what I mean? Like the player rarely ever has to pay a fine.
So it all is a nothing. Nothing to Shador, nothing to anybody. It's all a zero. But what it is an emotional stab in the heart to Jeff Ulbrich because his son did something. So it makes Jeff Ulbrich look bad.
Yeah.
Because as a father, if my son...
It's a lack of discipline.
Like, for instance, like let's say...
I mean, yes and no. Sorry, Tom, go ahead.
Okay, well, no, use it. Well, because if my son, I have a bunch of numbers of different celebrities in my phone. I don't know if you knew this.
That is
Travis
absolutely
Pastrana.
true.
Yeah, I happen to have Travis Pastrana's.
He has Richard Hatch from Survivor, you mother effer.
Yeah. And then
He's got a Carrot Top in there.
He
We have a
abused his
Tom
kid.
Petty impersonator in there. Bob Petty's in there. You ever met Bob Petty?
What was the old man that we recently interviewed that was friends with Elvis? And,
Pat Boone, dude. He's
Ah.
got Pat Boone.
Pat
Are you crazy?
Boone's cell phone
Yeah,
number.
you're talking to Castleberry Pat Boone right here. You better slow your goddamn roll and show some respect. Kiss his ring right now.
Here's the thing. Okay, your son is 21. You trust him, so you leave your
No, you
your
don't.
phone or
Back
your
that
iPad.
Up. My
Yeah,
dad
yeah.
didn't trust me at 21. Are you insane?
No, but you're not hiding
Well, let me say
the
this.
information you're saying.
Yeah, you trust your kid. Hey, don't touch my iPad, which is a Falcons issued iPad. You know what I mean? Like this is company property. Don't touch my stuff. You know, like
or even if you did touch it, don't start prank calling.
Yeah.
the private numbers.
so funny.
And he knows the situation. Like all these players are given by like even Shador said he's like Sprint Mobile just gave me this phone.
Yeah.
Like it's part of advertising. Even
Sprint Mobile.
whatever.
Yeah, you know what it is.
Singular Wireless.
They have the
gave me
alien
this phone.
walkout. Metro PCS hands him the phone.
And so, but back to my analogy. And then my son prank calls Travis Pastrana.
Which one? Which one does it? Just for details for me, because I know them both. If you had to guess.
God, I'm trying to think of
Now,
who
I would go
do it.
on who wrote what in the bathroom. And I'd go with Tommy Van.
Ooh, Tommy
See,
would do it,
I was gonna say, who always asks to curse?
Tommy Van.
Yeah.
And I feel like Tommy Van, if anybody could pull it off, I actually have.
Max is too cool to prank call.
I think Max might feel bad for Shador and ruining his moment. I think that Tommy is just not looking at that enough to pull it off, you know?
But
Like,
also, you do it as a joke. He's the comedian. Tommy is.
Tommy's funny.
He likes making other people laugh. He does like that.
He's very
although he
funny.
does want to be a speck of dust, which I relate to. But
Speck
anyway.
of Dust tour. I can see it now.
So he prank calls Travis Pastrana, and then somehow Travis
Which one would
Pastrana-
hurt you the most?
Huh?
If he called Travis Pastrana? It was like, hey, it's me, Druggy the Bear. You remember me? Of course you don't.
Well, that's pranking me. Like, listen, I'm trying to even put it in the analogy.
Travis Pastrana, he's awaiting a call because he's going to strike a deal with a BMX company to, like, you know.
BMX, you don't know nothing, Kenny. It's
Get out of here.
motocross.
My God. You must watch WNBA.
Freestyle, really, it'd be the Nitro Circus tour or whatever. Like, he calls and then pretends to be some bigger deal that wants to take the Nitro Circus tour to the next level, right?
But he pretends to be like, oh, I'm Mark Cuban. I want to invest in Nitro Circus 2.0.
Yeah.
That's fair. Yeah, that's
then,
pretty good.
And then so Travis Pastrana's like all excited, and for some reason they're filming his reaction, and he's like, "Oh God, we're gonna be rich."
We have Mark Cuban on the line, Travis.
And then he finds out it's a prank call. Then he's like, so now Pastrana's like, "I'll never do another interview with Tom Dan again." And then so anyway, that's the closest I can think of.
I like that role play.
Which in this whole scenario, I would be proud that he got us the publicity because we did it anyway.
See, I don't know if I could look past the idea, even though I would feel bad for you. I would be so happy for Tommy, and I would be very happy
and then
for the show.
And then, but let's say the publicist, like, I'm not giving you any more interviews from these celebrities. It would just negatively affect me. I would be.
That has happened before when we were on the Monsters. That happened where we would have publicists that would ask us to do things, and then we'd go off script or something accidental would happen.
Take enough time and then start clicking the phone.
And then they'd say, like, guys, we're done. We're not working with you.
But I'd say yes. Take that.
But in this example,
no one cares. Even the host don't care.
If this happened with Tom, in this example, it would have to be where, Dan, you're pissed off at Tom that he now lost all these contacts for interviews. And now you are sitting there like, now,
like, hey,
look what your dumb kid did.
Yeah.
Because that's what everybody's perceiving that we're doing to Jeff because of what his son did.
And the Falcons owners, head coach, and all that.
It's unprofessional, and it's
a distraction. That's the part I hate, is that it just looks so rinky-dink.
It shows the world that you raised a person that didn't even think. It's so dumb, honestly, that didn't think that putting this out on the internet was going to negatively affect him, your dad, in which you got the information from. You stole the information from your dad, and you posted this, a nothing prank that was bad to begin with, that no one laughed at.
It wasn't even that good of a prank.
It was a horrible prank.
No, it wasn't good.
Like, it's not as if Shedeur was never going to play football again, and the prank was he called them and be like, this is your one opportunity to get in the NFL ever. Like, okay, he's going to get picked anyway.
It would have been better if he'd have said, like, hey, did what's his name get with you? These nuts. A simple classic 90s D's nuts and what's his name get with you would have been 100 times better than what he did.
The best punishment, I think, for this kid. I'm
he
going
had
to keep
to call
saying
Shedeur,
kid,
and Shedeur took his
his
call.
Go approach him, say you're sorry. Like, that's dumb.
I think Shedeur's like, I don't care.
This dude needs to be publicly, like, banned from the NFL forever. Cannot go to a game. Cannot attend any facilities.
See, that makes more sense to me than the $100,000.
Yeah,
that's dumb.
Like,
I know you're not doing that, but if you do say, like, hey, you can't be a part of this anymore.
Your dad's allowed to do his job or whatever. You cannot attend.
Well, his dad didn't do anything.
No, I know, but
other than trust his son, which I don't really want to fault dads for doing that. Like, my dad didn't lock his office.
His son has access to a suite and the team facilities to do whatever. It's like, nope, you're banned from it. You can never go to a football game ever again.
Here's the paradox of this all, is that if you're Roger Goodell or whatever, the owners will look at this and like, good, I'm glad it happened. $30 million worth of publicity for the NFL. Another drama story to people to talk about. Like, they don't care.
I mean, purely from an advertising aspect, you literally just set fire to entertainment for a 5th round pick. When do you get that much love in the 5th round? You don't.
And if you're the 31 other teams, you're like, this only makes us look better. Like, you know what I mean? This just makes our organization look smarter.
Yeah. And now, what do you guys think?
Hollerbach is the only one that looks bad.
Yeah.
Because even the dumb kid, people like, this kid will just be whatever.
It'll be forgotten in 3 months.
Yeah. Everybody's like, but Hollerbach, as a dad, you just got a bunch of worldwide publicity of being a dad that raised a kid that would do that. They would betray your trust, honestly.
And now
that's what it was.
So a lot of people don't realize, like, why do they get fined for the prank? The fine was for breach of security. It's essentially like an IT issue. You know what I mean? Like, you allowed confidential information to go out. That's what the fine is for. But that's going to now follow him, because let's say he gets an opportunity for a head coaching position elsewhere. That's going to be technically tagged, where an owner or a GM is going to be like, okay, I don't know if I trust you around being the head coach, because we saw what happened in Atlanta. You know what I mean? Like, that's going to unfairly be stuck with him.
That was the first thing I thought of, is that he has kind of been, it looks like he's been maneuvering his way back up to, and that would be bad.
So the other interesting part of this whole stupid story is that other players are prank called too. And then I was like, was it the same guy? Or was it a totally different
Chat room is saying
person?
different people
it was
did different calls.
people. Because that's let me say this. For
How do
college,
they know it was different? Just from a different number? Did they track the IP address? I mean, it makes sense that it was the same group of dumb kids.
I think they have the videos. I haven't read all of the stories.
And some of them, different people videoed themselves.
Yeah, they're different. It was like they're all in a group, and it's like, hey, you call this guy, you call this guy, I'm called this way.
And
like
some of the people that are doing the
group.
pranks aren't affiliated with NFL teams, so
Friends
it's a nothing.
Of his, yeah.
Because they're not affiliated with an NFL team. Like, this happened a lot, especially in the mid-2000s. Like, J.J. Redick had to change his number. When he was at Duke, he had to change his cell number, like, every month, because it would somehow get leaked, and then harassing fans would just, like, call him, text him, just bother him, because he was in college, and he was, a
I used
jerk
to
like that.
love calling JJ.
Yeah.
Yelling at him. I'm like,
so,
you
like,
son of a bitch.
people's numbers eventually do leak. Now, nowadays, like you said, numbers are plenty, cell phones are plenty. Like, it's not as big of an issue, but numbers get out, and you're going to get people that prank call them.
So this interesting question to me is Shedeur Sanders, now that this happened, he is subject to more prank call opportunities because of this story, right? So, like, if
you mean like a target on his back?
Well, just like if Shedeur Sanders' number ever got out again, I imagine someone's like, let's prank call him, right?
See, I kind of look at this in a really bad way, and I'll get heat for this, but I think it was everything he did up to the draft is what created the opportunity for the prank call. All of the whole draft room, all of that. The reason
His
he got pranked
cockiness,
is that.
yeah,
right.
yeah.
And so, yes, now that they got through and they got one, it is somebody needs to come through and finish the job.
Although,
right? We need a good one.
They pranked Abdul Carter, and he just seems like a normal football player.
Yeah.
It's like he wasn't cocky.
I wouldn't have done that.
But I think with
I wouldn't
Shedeur,
have done
though,
that.
like, okay, let's say you prank him again, but you're not going to get it on camera. Like, Shedeur's not going to, like, get on camera every single incoming phone call that he's anticipating.
Yeah, of course.
So
yeah.
who cares at this point?
So, but that leads me to how do, like, someone like Shedeur Sanders protect their cell phone number so they could use it like a regular person?
The only... this is just wild speculation. They could potentially do like those Google numbers where it's affiliated with your real number, but anytime it goes out or you're giving it to someone, it's technically like a masked number. So you have a whole bunch out there, and at any time you can just like give it. You know what I mean? It's almost like a VPN, but for your phone number.
Okay, it kind of switches your number each time that you make an
or
outgoing
if
call
I
to-
give it to you and you use it to call me or whatever, like, and you give it out to someone, I could always just like cancel it and now choose a new number.
A lot of
to
business
protect
people
it.
use this for side pieces.
Yeah, okay. Yeah.
You give out different numbers, and then when they get a little crazy, you shut the number down.
But then I have seen, like, there's a lot of celebrities that we've even interacted with that have had the same number and text and stuff like. So they're using it. So I guess for the most part, it just doesn't happen.
Damon Wayans uses his real cell phone number. Edwin McCain uses his real cell phone number because it says his name when he calls.
Yeah, all the comedians and stuff, and it's just like
almost all of
because
them.
everybody's kind of cool. Like,
Well,
what
also
benefit does
prank
a
calls aren't aplenty. You know what I mean? And who cares? And I think
I'm bringing them back this year, though. 2025 coming back.
now, let me say this: an unintended side effect. So this, you see all this 250,000, 100,000 fines. Will that prevent people from doing prank calls in the future? Like, not all prank calls, but I'm saying, like, some dumb 21-year-old's like, ooh, that, so and so got fined 100,000. I don't want to get in trouble.
Yeah, I think it'll stop it. Yeah, within the NFL, I think that's done. That won't happen again.
well,
That's
depends
Falcons. We own that.
how you got the number, right? If you were just like someone left it out on their desk and you were the cleaning crew that night and you saw Shedeur, you know what I'm saying? Then you take a picture of it, then you use it like it's then they have no way to track how you got it. See what I'm saying? Like, and that's the thing. If this was anybody but Ulbricht's son, then there's no way they can track it back to Ulbricht.
It kind of makes me a little more interested in prank calls. It kind of makes me go, like, because this one wasn't executed properly, it kind of makes me go, like, well, we got to finish this story.
Do you think there's like an app or a service where, and I'm not talking about like a receptionist, but almost like a digital receptionist where you see that a phone call, like there's a phone call coming in.
You can say anything you want to her.
Like let's say I have it and I give you guys my number, but you guys know like, hey, the password is this number or whatever, and then that's how it technically comes through my phone saying, oh, Tom is calling you, as opposed to random number kind of thing. You know, as opposed to. I'm just trying to think, like, is there a way to screen or filter if you give people your cell number?
I think super A-list celebrities use a person, like their assistant or publicist. That's why they always go through a person. You know, it's like you can't call them directly.
Like, this is a prank call, and then they hang up on it. They're like, oh, Shador's right here.
Yeah, but at the same time, too, you have to realize, like, well, if I'm a super rich celebrity and my wife is calling me, my wife shouldn't have to go through a service. You know what I mean? Like, so there has to be some direct connection.
Speak for yourself. Yeah, I'm going to make my wife go through the service.
Brad Pitt has a cell phone number that his whoever his kid, someone just called Brad Pitt.
I highly doubt his kids have his cell phone number.
I'm like, bad choice, because I don't think his kids are too happy.
That's the most famous A-list celebrity I can think of.
Chet Hanks has Tom Hanks' cell phone number.
Brad Pitt does not text his kids. They hate him.
Like Obama has a cell phone number, right?
Obama.
Yeah, I heard how you said his name. I heard how you said it.
That's the only way I can say it.
Yeah, Michelle is able to easily like call him anytime she wants without having to go through.
Can you imagine prank calling Obama when he becomes president?
Well, if Obama's number got out on the internet, he'd have to change it.
Yeah,
but I guess you're right. It probably has some sort of phone that just can. I don't know.
Wouldn't it be awesome if Obama had an Obama phone? Tell me how cool that would be.
What if he had a custom number and it was like 407 Obama?
I would love that.
I don't know if that's enough digits.
That would be pretty cool. I've always loved vanity numbers. We have one. 1-844 Tom and Dan.
What if it wait, hold on. Obama 69. I think that's enough digits.
Can we change our vanity number to 1-844 Obama 69? Because I feel like, hold on now, just hear me out.
Is it more than $80 a month?
It's cheaper. It's cheaper.
Okay,
it's cheaper. I could go. We'll do Google Voice. We'll do 1-844 Obama 69.
Oh, someone's prank calling us.
Are they? Okay. Do you want me to grab
it?
Yeah. Thanks for calling. Who's this?
Hey, it's DeBerry Joe.
DeBerry Joe, buddy.
Is this Obama 69?
I'm just out cutting grass, but I just wanted to say my Pixel phone has a virtual call screener. Where it, if it's an unknown number, you talk to a robot and you have to tell them why you're calling, and it decides if it wants to let it ring through.
I have a friend that has this too, and his wife hates it because she has to go through it to get to him, and it'll say "Hi, this is Sarah. Who's calling?" And then you have to be like, "Oh, this is Dan," and it'll be like, "Let me see if he wants to take your calls right now."
Or you can probably program all the people that normally call you.
Yeah, but that's true. But he didn't put his wife in there.
There it is.
I forget that too.
But that's it. I just wanted to drop that.
All right. So they probably have that software if it's readily available.
Yeah, I'm sure. Which is weird because I have a Pixel phone, but I don't care who calls me.
I'm thinking.
Call me all you want, fans.
I've been considering changing to Android for the first time ever. I've been thinking about going PC.
But they didn't think about implementing any of this for the draft? They just let anybody call the number without vetting anything?
But no, you're right. It could just be Metro PCS is sponsoring it, so they gave him the number. So he's like, I'm never going to use this phone outside of this draft weekend, so I don't need to set this up or care about it. Only NFL teams have this number on this phone.
I bet they change it next year, and they're all going to be vetted if someone calls them.
It'll be like a Zoom. It'll be like, they'll run it through a service. The service will control it.
Or
they'll be going through so you'll call the service will connect you. That's how they'll do it.
Yeah, actually, that's not a bad idea.
Yeah, that's exactly how they needed to do it. They needed all the players to have their phones right, and then their assistant calls into the service, And so, hey, we have Shadur Sanders lined up here. Shadur's on the line. We just hold him there, and then it'll be one of these high-dollar banks of phones, and it just stays on the line until the owner needs them, and they just pull up the bank, and there it goes.
It is
I
bizarre.
could have solved this problem in 5 minutes.
Call. They just literally take their cell phone out and call.
I'm going to give you a compliment.
So
I'm
weird.
going to give you a compliment. That's actually a decent question. Why do they do it that way? I don't know.
If you have a temporary cell phone like a company gave you and you're using it for like a week or a weekend or whatever, do you just like load up the search history with just the grossest porn
No,
ever?
I'm not a pervert.
But then you
Jeez, what are you, a psycho?
But you return it back to them and you know some
And
IT
then they go,
person's
who
got-
had this phone? Because I think that the person that had this last phone was a pedophile, and then they would go to jail.
Yeah. No, I'd be afraid that they'd go back and somehow look at it.
Me too.
Yeah.
I've always wanted 2 cell phones, though. That was the epitome of cool when I was in high school. My kids that had 2 beepers, 2 cell phones, stuff like that.
I heard a podcast recently that
people hear podcasts. The only way you can receive it.
One of
You
these
can watch them too.
Sports podcasts, and then they
trying to go
every
with
once
Mitch
in a while
Hedberg
they talk about something personal, which I hate. I'm like, talk sports. I don't care about your lives.
And now Tom knows what it's like when they talk about their kids.
It's like when we talk sports. It's the opposite.
Like, I don't like sports. Talk about your life.
But
Stop talking about your kids. You're not as funny.
they talked about an employee. I guess they order lunch for their employees every day.
Who does?
I'll say the fantasy footballers. We interviewed one of them. one
Yeah,
time.
we did.
And they're a big company now, and so they have a bunch of different employees, whatever. One of their employees that orders the lunch, I guess, had their business card on his like Uber Eats. And he just would order his own Uber Eats, forgetting the business card was on there. Racked up like $2,200 of Uber Eats orders over like 8 months or
now
whatever.
You got to bring him in and tase his bare bottom. Bring him in, slap his balls.
I guess the guy paid it back, and he's like, "Oh, it was a mistake." And then I thought immediately, and I know the truth, that person knew.
Oh, totally.
You know
After
why
a
you know
while.
that? Because you've owned a business.
Yeah.
Yep.
And also, it'd be something I'd do where I'm like, these guys will never know.
Yeah, and it depends on the person.
I'll just claim it's a
Because
mistake.
it shows you 3 different times what the last 4 digits are.
It depends on the person. We have had 3 people work in this office, okay? 2 of them, I will say, with extreme certainty, would never do that. 2 of those people that worked here. One, the bald one, is just like me and Tom, and he would do it. No, the 3 of us, you and I would take a company card and charge our lunch on it and see if they catch it.
Yeah, not even on purpose, but let's say you did it by accident for.
What if is it by
2
accident
months.
if you know it's still connected and you're like, I'll just say it's an accident?
Well, what if you say in your mind, this is where it becomes theft? You see what I'm saying? That is
What's the time? What's the golden time limit? Because I think more than a month, then it's intentional. Less than a month, you're like, all right, he did a couple weeks and he made a mistake.
And he immediately paid it back and apologized. And I'm like, that's the way, because that was the plan he came up with his head.
Yeah.
Whereas, like, if they ever do find out, I'm going to claim accident.
Now, the correct plan,
and
if you want to get away with it.
Plan,
Well, the way to get away with it is.
Because they may never know.
You got to go in and get something big, but not too big. Scan it, scan the card, then come in and immediately go, oh my God, I put it on the card. And then you'll be like, it's on. And I'm like,
yeah. See,
he said it was fine.
But
right?
So
that's how you do it. You just come in and you're like, oh man, I didn't mean to do that. And they go, oh, it's fine.
But see, it works because it's just a smaller company. I've worked in the corporate realm before, and I've accidentally gotten
you think you're better than
like a $5 Wendy's meal on a company card, and then they made me write a check to the company for like $5.37.
I would make you barf it. I would make you barf it out in front of me.
That was ridiculous.
No, exactly. I was like, really, guys, $5, and this is like a huge multi-million-dollar company, and you're gonna make me write a handwrite a check.
Shanae made me expense
Oh, because then it
stuff
becomes
before.
accounting, and they're like, we work for the company, and this is our job is to account for every dollar. If this is off, then we get messed up.
Because they get into trouble. Yeah, Shanae made me at Clear Channel made me expense things before because if I didn't, then she got into trouble.
But if you have like a big company's, but just big is subjective. perspective.
Well,
so this guy, that company may be huge. Like you see it, you're like, these guys are making
That's
millions.
true. It's a bell curve because I think if it's a large company, they're going to catch in the $5. If it's too big of a company, like you're working for like a pharmaceutical or like some bank,
Amazon,
they're never going to notice, and you could probably get hundreds of thousands, and they'll never notice it.
Dude, that happened in the NFL with Shad Khan's employee of Jacksonville. Remember?
Yeah. He was gambling his money.
Millions, like it was millions
going
that
crazy.
he just took from this company. Like
no one knew.
And there was a long time. I'm sure after a while, he's like, "Oh my God, it's gone too far." You know, like.
Yeah.
But
what's too far for you? Give me a number. You're good at
win it
this.
back.
What's too far? What can you not put back in the toothpaste tube?
God, it's.
What's the one that rattles Tom Van's bones? You're stealing from Shad Khan. What's the number?
See, to me, I can't sleep at night.
We don't steal. Yeah.
But
Well, the
I
problem
think
is
over
too.
10,000. I'll say maybe over 10,000.
Yeah.
If the company's like $1 billion.
Yeah.
Double digits does seem.
See, the problem
I
is
don't know.
he wasn't taking the money and like buying Lamborghinis and buying, fancy vacations. He was gambling. So I think in his mind there was no number because he's like, oh, I'll just win it back and pay him back.
Yeah.
So I think it's like a flawed thing where there is no number when you're gambling it.
Yeah. You're right.
The Tom Van story.
I like that. It's like there is no number
Because
when you're gambling it.
because
That's beautiful.
As you're stealing it, you're like, this could double.
It's called positively stealing.
I'll pay them back and I'll take the
I'm
profit.
doing them a favor. I'm winning them money.
I'm winning money with stolen money.
You're like, oh, I lost again. God damn it.
But the plan.
Yeah, good
Why do I
intentions.
keep betting on the Jags?
Your intentions are the only thing that matters.
Oh,
God, I'm a monster.
And did you know that Ross is now addicted to gambling? Yes. Never thought I'd see that happening. That's your fault, Tom.
Well,
Just from
I
pure
could see-
osmosis of him coming in here, this guy hasn't talked about sports ever. He's been coming in here enough for you to just rub off him, and then he comes in
See,
one day,
it's
he's like, I'm
about
addicted
math.
to gambling.
I think some of the best people that I can talk sports gambling to have no interest in sports. It's about the math, and it's about the numbers.
Yeah, but it is. I guess there's been talk that this increase in gambling has becoming a problem, and they see like gambling,
Sorry,
but I'll explain.
When beer was available to everyone, including minors, it became a problem.
This whole medical marijuana thing's going to bite us in the ass.
But partly because of the apps and the way kids are playing video games and like Roblox, and I see it when Max and Tommy play. Like they're all programmed to mimic the.
It's the same programmers, dude. SJ said that.
Yeah.
It's the same people that work on slot machines are working on Roblox games.
Yeah.
It's just code. It's just software.
And they're like human psychology. They like this. It releases a chemical, and that's why it keeps them around.
It does for me. Andrea and I play Monopoly Go. Is it a version? It's an adult version of it.
So then you have this entire generation that's like fueled by this release of chemicals in their brain that they've been getting through these microtransactions or whatever. And then by the time they become adults, and then they,
Well, then nothing around them that's normal gives them juice. That's called the hedonic threshold.
Yeah,
That's the thing that I've been studying with my therapist.
Yeah.
You get so much adrenaline from these lights blasting these gold coins into your eyes.
Nothing
all day
else
long
gives you.
You can't. You got to get out of that to level yourself back down to just so when going outside, I'll run the needle again.
Yeah.
Hedonic threshold. Look it up.
This is going to make me sound like a nerd, but what got me into gambling was the board game Life and how you could bet on the stock market.
This is the second gayest thing you said. My God, man. What are you doing?
What's the first?
But that's what
I don't remember, but I liked it.
Hey.
That's what riding the lightning is. That
Yeah.
lightning feeling is the threshold.
I remember how excited I got, and I think you're referencing it, when my god sisters would get out that long strip of cardboard from Life.
Yeah.
And
you
then
put money
and
on
you
one
put
of the
money,
numbers.
and it was roulette, and I still remember the vision of it as good as gold, and I remember hitting my number and be like, "What?"
But that's the thing, though. You need to train your threshold to make $5. That's the junkie is the guy that gave away all his money, ruined all his relationships, and do anything for the drug, and then ended up homeless on the streets. If you can get that lightning feeling from a $5 bet at Hard Rock or whatever fantasy football, it's like, okay, you paid $5 for the lightning feeling, pretty good value.
Yeah.
It's like when you give away all, and you think.
Well, I wonder if you lose sight of what you're even chasing, right? You just know you want to feel a certain way. So the numbers kind of fade away. You just need to do it to feel it. And that's when I think it's dangerous.
And then you have no discipline.
No.
And honestly, a lot of people have a disease, which is addiction, which causes it to take your life away.
I have AIDS. Which is
better than gambling.
Better than gambling. It is. It really is.
You can take a pill for AIDS.
Oh, yeah.
It reminds me when I go to Vegas for work and I'll go to the casino and there's always the one dude that's watching like, St. Bonaventure versus, Wichita State at 12:30 in the morning or whatever, like just hoping a 3-pointer goes in because he's got money on him. Like, I feel sad for you, man.
Well, we saw these guys when we did our walkthrough at OLE. They brought us there during the day, and this is back before it had been converted into a church or a place of for events. But remember all those old guys that were up there watching horse races and highlight and it was like closed circuit TV from different places in Miami. They're doing highlight, and these guys are betting. The whole floor is trash, and people are crying.
But they're riding the lightning.
They are.
What are you doing? Just nothing?
What are you doing? Sitting there watching TV?
What are you doing, Kenny? Just dressing in a purple shirt? Doing the podcast?
What do you think you are? What do you think you are? The Joker?
Everything rides on this horse. You understand?
It reminds me of there was a huge controversy in sumo wrestling. I'll try to brief it because I know we don't have
girls
much time.
in sumo. Did you know that?
There should be.
Yeah, and topless too.
I would pay for that.
I would want. I'd be the first to sign up if they did topless female sumo wrestling. I'd be like, well, give me the max package.
So basically, in order to like get promoted in the next level or rank of sumo, you have to have a certain record in like a tournament. And if a sumo wrestler is one win away from achieving that promotion, and they're facing someone who has no chance of either making promotion or is already comfortable, that person would intentionally tank the loss so that other person would benefit and promote. And it became like this underground conspiracy between all the sumo wrestlers that, hey, when it gets to the end of the tournaments, let's help each other out to get promoted, if whatever, and they'd get paid underneath the table to do all that. And it became a huge like gambling ring.
That's a movie. Dude, that's a badass movie. Like a badass Japanese movie about the underbelly of like sumo wrestling and the gambling on it and like Yakuza and stuff. Like nobody's written a something about that?
There was a movie like Freakonomics that kind of talked about like the math of things, and they did like a mini documentary.
No, I want a gritty Japanese sumo, like what do you call it? Like a Quentin Tarantino sumo movie
with the Yakuza.
Yeah, dude.
That kind of also happened in highlight as well, like that some highlight players would intentionally lose in order to like even out the standings and stuff.
Yeah, one of the highlight guys was living at OLE for a while. Juan Leon. No, I'm not kidding. He was living. He and his family were living there and using I believe, the men's showers as a dwelling.
Yeah, they don't get paid that much.
No, they don't.
That's why it's ripe for gambling.
A lot of sadness in gambling.
You're like, miss this catch. I know you'll do it.
It's
for
great.
the money.
For your family. You'll do it for what's best for your family.
When you hear like sports controversies, it's always like, oh, point shaving in basketball, whatever. You don't hear the story of the boxer taking the dive anymore in like the big match.
Yeah, because there's so much money involved.
We're watching it right now, aren't we?
And
aren't all of these influencer fights? Aren't they all dives? They're all dives.
Well, that's where we're kind of seeing it. Where it's almost like behind the scenes. It's not really
when there's no integrity. There can't be a dive.
Yeah, that's true.
It's not 100% predetermined, but they know likely what's going to happen, and that's what I'm saying.
It's very wrestling.
But by taking bets on that, it becomes. But now everything's so digital that they're moving the stuff, and they're like a lot of predetermined stuff. They don't even let you bet that much, so it's like it's all or nothing. People think you could bet unlimited amounts of money. That is not the case.
The chat room is saying that Robinhood will now allow you to bet on the gross domestic product, gasoline prices, and Fed rates.
Yeah, and other
That's
stuff.
a real thing you can bet on?
Interesting.
So you can bet on the sadness of the economy?
That's what the stock market is. It's funny.
Yeah.
They're just rebranding it as betting to get the younger generation in.
Yeah,
well, that was the whole thing
that.
with GameStop, how people were technically betting against GameStop from whatever, and then everyone's like, nah, we're going to change it the other way and screw you guys over.
Well, it's just they're now making the microtransactions, which Robinhood is doing already. That's what the whole thing is like. You could now buy, micro shares of personal stock easily on your app, and now they're just reframing it as like, hey, bet if oil's going to go up. And then it was like, you always could do that. That's what the stock market is you betting if this company is going to be more successful.
I like this way better.
The value of gold is going up or down, that you're just betting on it. That's what it is.
I like that. It's cool that they're reframing a little bit. You know, I mean, somebody had to try and do something like that, right?
Well, you now you realize you're like, oh, everything is gambling.
Do you play? Do you gamble? Do you do any of the Robin Hood betting?
Oh no, I do sports gambling all the time, and it's great. I'm telling you, Tom, European soccer. That's where it's at. Be like,
Hope you didn't bet on Arsenal the other day with PSG. Yeek.
Oh yeah, that was a bit of an upset. And then what was the other match that happened yesterday?
Let's end with this.
Inter Milan.
Yes.
I think about this a lot, and the fact that Orlando City's in our backyard, and I still know people that work in there, and I could somewhere shoot my way back in.
No,
somehow.
you have two of our closest broadcasting friends are boots on the ground for game day.
So I was like, I can get close enough to the personnel and the team to kind of get insider information about what's going on, and then all right, they bet MLS on all apps, and so. I've got 7 different sports betting apps, and then I can get 24 more easily for legally. And then I was like, if I got in there and then started looking, they're like, oh, you realize a player's sick or not going to travel, and that information is not public yet.
Yeah.
Then you go on and then you hammer, as many apps at your max limit as possible. I mean, it's inside trading, but it's legal in the sports betting world.
Yes and no. So let's say, and we know who you're talking about, Sabrina, she would get in trouble if she was your conduit.
I wasn't going to use Sabrina. I was going to use Ross Padgett.
Oh, okay, Ross.
I did their job. They would have no insider information. I need to get closest to the team.
But so when I worked for the Magic, we had an entire seminar, and even the janitors had to sit there and go through this anti-gambling thing, because it doesn't matter if you're 7 connections away. That's still more connections than the average public. You cannot legally bet at all. And if they somehow, if the janitor...
Seminar? You think that's stopping me, Kitty?
Well,
I care about the money.
Okay, but you wouldn't get in trouble because you're the one gambling. But whoever allowed you any sort of access, they would find out, wait, did Sabrina open the door for you to walk into the facility? Did you call someone? That person would get in trouble. Not necessarily you, but that person who gave you that opportunity.
So
it's Jeff again. It's the coach of the Falcons.
Yeah,
that's all over again. It's the same argument.
But the problem with this whole scenario, and this is why I don't do it, is that say you get some sort of micro inside information, a player's sick or whatever, and that doesn't guarantee anything. Right? You know what I'm saying?
It possibly gives you an edge.
It possibly gives you an edge, and obviously it gives you an edge on the numbers you're getting, right? But say I hammer everything for max bets, right? Which you can only on MLS games, they probably $500 max is what you could do.
It's not a lot.
Say I get $8,000 down, right? And then I lose. Orlando ends up winning, right? Just because soccer, there's chance involved. Someone misses up, whatever.
Dude, 2 weeks ago, Man U came back, I think, with 4 goals in 3.5 minutes or something. It gave Richard a heart attack.
Yeah.
It was they came back and won the game. Everybody's like, oh my God.
There's few things that are guaranteed, even if you have, there's no in sports, it's not predetermined. That's why a lot of companies have really cut down on what giraffe props they even offer.
Yeah.
Is because predetermined things. And so the sumo,
seems like that's going through a turnover, because you used to tell me about all the crazy ones they would do.
Oh, you used to be able to make money.
And now if I go on all the little apps, it looks like the little areas that they have that is it's not as popular.
They price you out with the VIG, or they max limit. You could bet $100. Who cares? It's so
I don't know if it was posted in the gambling page, but someone bet $1,000 on Cam Ward to be #1 overall pick to win $2.50.
Yeah.
They literally would bet 1,000 to win $2.50.
It got up to 20,000. You'd have to bet 20,000 to win $100. That's probably what it was. They bet 1,000 to win $2. And
but if someone came to you and be like, Tom, you want $2.50 just for free? Put it, you know what I mean?
But
there's no way I would gamble with $1,000 like that. Though. That would hurt me too bad.
Because those are called bridge jumper bets, by the way.
Yeah, no.
And there was some local
not into that. It's a good name.
Betting syndicate
I do like that.
made a lot of money for years doing bridge jumper bets like that, and then one bankrupt.
You mean just staying consistent and just locking in and
because sometimes there are guarantees, but every once in a while some crazy anomaly happens.
Right.
The Titans have traded the first overall pick, for 19 first-round future picks.
And even if they didn't, and someone wants Cam Ward for some anomaly.
Or Luka goes to the Lakers.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
It changes your whole trajectory.
When New England was up 28, or the opposite, when Falcons were up 28-3.
Yeah, he always has to say this.
Because there was a lot of people that bet everything they had that the Falcons are going to win the Super Bowl at horrible odds, and then you jump off.
And what's crazy is on the other end, someone would be like, why not just bet $5 on the comeback at plus 2,000 odds? Yeah, it's only $5. And then they win it that one time, and then they try to use that and be like, see, Tom, I told you.
Yeah. But you can get away with it for a long time. But one will get you. Anyway, all right. Kenny, thanks so much.
Anything to plug, buddy?
Nah, I got nothing.
I like that.
I'm just a purple shirt wearing nothing on the couch.
Oh, no, we didn't mean that. We're mean to all our listeners.
Listen, he's doing it for the love of the game. Anyway, all right. It's weird, though.
For the love of the game.
It's weird.
Who listens to this?
What do you love about it? All right. Bye-bye. Sorry, we went way too long. We didn't need 42 minutes. In fact,
where's that go?
That's Monday 3 and 4. So now we're way too far ahead. And I don't even know where we're gonna put our next.
Just take tomorrow off. Yes, no show.
All right.